What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So, I haven't talked about this for like a year now. At least a year. I made a video on this topic with my mom sometime last year about racism in K-pop and just racism in Korea, racism and cultural appropriation in K-pop, in K-hip-hop, and all of those genres like that. Now, like I said, I did a video on this topic sometime last year with my mom, and it was pretty divisive, pretty controversial, and it had a big, a very mixed reaction. Some people felt like I was defending many of the people who were accused of being racist or defending some of the racist actions. Some people felt like I was too hard on certain people. Like I didn't give them a chance to make amends. Like I was just like, yeah, that's not cool. I'm done with it. There's nothing else that needs to be said. That guy sucks. So it was just really divisive. I didn't really make nobody happy, but that's not why I made that video. I made that video just because I wanted to cover that topic, and I thought it was a really important topic to talk about because it was new to me. I knew about the racist history that most of the world's countries have. You know, there's racism in the UK and racism in Europe and America, Mexico. Like just racism against black people, at least, just all over the world. The whole world seems to not like black people for some reason. So when we were talking about the most racist moments in K-pop, it was just really a mixed bag. So I thought maybe after knowing some of the things that I know and getting some of the information that I got and talking to a lot of you guys after making that video, I thought I would revisit this topic. Now there's two videos I want to react to that I'll react to today and just talk about and break down and see what I think about this, because I'm not the kind of person who will see something and be like, that's racist, cancel that person. I'm like the person, because I've been faced with a lot of American racism, which is very strong. Like it's not very subtle, our racism in America. So the racism that I'm accustomed to is very just, you're the N-word or this and that. Like, so if somebody does something that they saw a black dude do in a movie, I'm not going to be like, that person's racist. I'm going to be like, that person just don't know black people. They're ignorant. We need to, get more representation to show this person this isn't how all black people are. So with all that being said, it's just some of the things that I didn't really get to say in that video that was covered last year that kind of bothered a lot of people, because they felt like I didn't really get to express all of the things that I wanted to say, and they felt like I was a lot of missing information and things that I didn't even get to see, so it kind of skewed my view. So I just really wanted to revisit this topic, and I wanted to rewatch that same video, but that video actually ended up deleted a couple days after I had recorded my video. I didn't even get to post my video. So when I went to post my video, I went to look for it again, and it was deleted. It was gone. I don't know why. The person who uploaded the video, I couldn't even find their channel. So I have no idea what's going on. So I just had to search a couple things. I got a couple links from you guys. And let's just go ahead and react to and break down, talk about K-pop's most racist moments. This new video. Before y'all start assuming, yes, I am black. Secondly, I understand some idols in this video have apologized and learned from their mistakes, but at the end of the day, what they did was still racist. Okay, I do want to talk about that as well, because that's something that people pointed out to me as well. So let's see. Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and break this down. What's that? Cats in Space? It's a song from Cowboy
이분은
Bebop.
개인기가 뭐냐면요. 흑인 영어래요. 어떻게 하면
Special times, black English.
This is called in rap months.
요새 피부가 되게 검해 보이고 이상해. 우와.
Okay, wow, yeah. I mean, black English, you can't even, I'm trying to think, what could y'all have possibly meant, besides just black people? That's racist, man.
보여주는 개인기가 뭐냐면요.
And then I see what he tried to do, but I mean, like, he went along with it.
This is Colorism rap monster.
And it seemed like he was trying to talk like a black dude, like real cool.
네 피부가 되게 검해 보이죠. 이상해.
Suddenly your skin tone seems darker. That's not a good look at all.
백인 여성분들은 네, 좀 Oh my gosh. Seriously? Like, he's so hot.
So is that like her impression of like Beverly Hills
네, 그리고
type of?
영화 안에 이렇게 나와.
Oh my gosh.
과하게. 와.
I think I've seen this video.
네네네.
I think this is one of the ones me and my mom reacted to.
이 눈썹과 표정.
인거 같다. 어떡하지?
그래서 좀 no, you ain't talking to me.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember this was actually one of the parts in the video where my mom was like, that's not racist. And I'm like, I don't really find it to be racist either. I find this is one of the things. Now, apparently Wendy has a bad history. And a lot of people were telling me that that's why so many people were like, there she goes doing another thing again. But when I saw it, I was just like, well, clearly she doesn't have a lot of knowledge about black people as a whole. So she's going to take the stereotypical black woman you would see in media, on TV and videos and just most media. She's going to take that and portray that. So I wasn't really mad at her when I saw her do that. And I do remember this video because this is one of the parts where people were telling me like, this is why we found this to be racist. To me, when you have a stereotype like this, it goes along with racism. It really does. But to me, this didn't seem like she was doing something malicious. And that's where the divide began, was because my experience with racism has always been malicious. There was never no subtlety. There was never no, oh, is it racist? No, it was always, that's straight up, it's clear cut, is thoroughbred racism right there. With something like this, it's clear that this is her interpretation of black people and white people, and it comes from biased media, So I'm not saying that she's not wrong for that, but I am saying that would I be like, oh, she need to get canceled, or all like, she's racist for this. I can't say that I think she's racist for this. It's a mixed bag with that too, but I can understand why she did it. Like,
No, you ain't talking to me.
and then on top of that, I know black girls that act like that. That don't help nothing either. that's the worst part about it.
네. 흑인 약간 남성 텍스처 약간 이런 분들은 좀 뭐냐면 what up? What, you want to go, man? You want to go?
I get it. I totally get it. That was it wasn't bad. I get that. But I get it. I totally get why people were upset about that. Me personally, it didn't hit me the same way. Everybody's tolerance for racist things or stereotypical things is different. But for me, like I said, I'm not about to get mad at this when I got Klan members, pointing guns at me. It's just a little different for me. This ain't gonna rub me the same way. It's not gonna set me off the same way as it would when I got Nazi skinheads literally pointing guns at me. Like, that's happened to me. I'll talk about that in another video where I actually had a Nazi skinhead hold me and my brother at gunpoint when we were in high school. So like I said, this ain't gonna hit me like that. I might laugh at it like, yo, like, that ain't bad. Like, I see what you're trying to do. Like, I get it. Some people are going to defend something like this and be like, she's just having fun. She don't mean it. And I can see both sides of this argument. I can see some people defending it, saying she was just having fun. And I can see other people being like, it's still offensive. I can see both sides of that. I don't know. I'm confused about that part. So explain that to me. Y'all niggas better know. It still makes me laugh, but I got a horrible sense of humor. People was mad at me because I laughed when we did it the last time. But it only made me laugh just because, hearing him say it made me laugh. I got a bad sense of humor, y'all. I don't know. It just made me laugh. It shouldn't be funny. It's one of those things you shouldn't laugh at, but it made me laugh. He said, you niggas better know. And to me, when I first heard it, because I remember this was also in the other video that I looked at, when I first heard it, it made me laugh like it just did. But it was like, okay, you messed up. You done messed up, Ron. You know, like, did I find this racist? No, but I found it ignorant. And I think that this is something that if you don't address it, it'll become a problem, because you can't just allow anybody to say this. But the reason why I say it's not racist and it's ignorant is because I feel like this part, like RM, did not actually know the magnitude of what he was saying. And from what the context I was given by a lot of people who watched the previous video, he came out and apologized, and there were no more instances of him doing this again. So I think that's really important to take into context when somebody does something like this, is that they didn't know it was wrong, or they didn't know how wrong it was. And once they were called out on it by people of color and people who saw it and people were offended, like you should be. Like I said, I'm not saying that it's okay, but I'm saying there is a slight difference in something like this when it comes to the ignorance and racism of it. When you have a racist comment, it's like the intent behind it is also very important, just like the context behind something is very important. I think his history of not doing like messed up things, like there's some people out there, somebody said the name like G-Dragon, has a history of saying messed up things and doing messed up things, and not just controversial, just straight up racist things. I don't think RM has that kind of history, but I have seen him say like some real questionable stuff, like, come on, man, what you doing? You know, which shows us like, you know, if you're going to try to emulate black culture, you got to know black culture. And I think that's a big problem with K-pop and K-hip hop and a lot of foreign music, is that if you're going to emulate black culture, and you know, there's that line where you have to respect black culture, and you saying y'all niggas better know, that's where you're at the point where you're just pretending. You're more of like a Malibu's Most Wanted. You're a poser, and you're pretending to be something and you don't understand it. So how can I say you appreciate my culture if you don't even understand one of the biggest points of my culture? You know, which is, this is something that you shouldn't be saying, you know. So I think that's a real big point in here, is that he doesn't know that, which means that you're guilty of cultural appropriation at that point, because you clearly don't understand my culture enough to emulate it and honor it properly. You know, that's my main point. But yeah, it still makes me laugh though, just because it's so weird. Oh, okay, so this, okay, gotcha. I saw a comment on this video before I started it where it said he mistakenly said Indian when he meant Native American. This right here must have been what that was. So the other one must have been actually Indian. This one is Native American. She's dressed like a Native American. So what did the text say? Dressing as an Indian and imitating war cries. Okay.
MC를 맡은 인디언 지효입니다.
Was that her?
MC를 맡은 인디언 지효입니다.
Was she imitating a war cry? Or I don't know. Like, her dressing up as a Native American, I get why people would be offended about that. Absolutely. Maybe this is where it's at. Oh, okay. Yeah. I see it. Yeah. Yeah, that's just offensive, man. It's just offensive. This was actually a really big problem in America too. For anybody who's foreign and wasn't, isn't familiar with this, this was actually a really, really big problem in America. I mean, we're still dealing with this issue in America, where we just got rid of the Redskins, and the Cleveland Indians, and with the mascots. Like, we're still trying to fix this issue with offensive Native American stereotypes and racist propaganda towards Native Americans. So her dressing up as a Native American, like I said, it's one of those situations where, to me, I'm not going to say that she's a bad person, but that was racist. You did a racist thing. And like most things in here, I can understand why people would see that they are racist. I can totally get it. Just giving my point of view on it. But that was a little bit more thorough. Like, it showed a lot more. It showed the detail. It showed her not just dressing up as a Native American, which I wouldn't have really had too much of an issue with. Because it's like, if you're dressing up, it's still somewhat offensive, but I could be like, all right, you know, we need some people to talk to her and fill her in about that type of stuff, because sometimes there are people who, you know, like half my family is Native American and they're not really going to get bothered by stuff like that, you know, including me. I'm not really going to get bothered if I see something like that. But when you start doing that, you start imitating the thing, cause you're trying to do the war cry and you can't, that was actually super offensive when you do something like that. So that's, yeah, there's not much you can say. There isn't too much of a both sides. Like, I can see some people defend it. I can see people defending it, but I can't really even like rock with you at all on your defense. Like, I can't be like, I see where you're coming from. Like, nah, like, you gotta realize that that's just not cool and not okay. And she needs to understand, people need to make sure that they're, consistently bringing up that that's not okay. But if she didn't do it, somebody else over there would have, because it's almost not seen as racist. It's just seen like, this is what they did. You know, just how so many people will call Native Americans Indian. They won't know that that's offensive because that's just what they've been called so long. So it's a lot to it, man, but that's not cool. That one right there, I can see that. What am I saying?
3살 전부터 춤을 췄어요.
Oh, wait.
3살 전부터 춤을 췄어요.
She was getting it though.
전부터 춤을 췄어요.
Wait. Unless she said the N-word in her native tongue, she did not say the N-word right there. That's literally the words to that song. If you a lame nigga, you ain't making no noise. That's the lyrics to that actual song. Are they saying that she said that? Or she was covering it in her native tongue and she said it, because I didn't hear her say it, unless that's her singing it and she just sounds just like her. Let me hear that again.
3살 전부터 춤을 췄어요.
I'm so confused, y'all. Let me hear this again real quick. I really didn't want to go back this far.
3살 전부터 춤을 췄어요.
Yo, listen, y'all. I don't know if this is just me tripping or if I'm not hearing her correctly, or if she said it in her native tongue, or unless that's her singing that in the background and I really can't hear it. I'm gonna just straight up say it based off of what I'm seeing. She did not say the N-word. I think people didn't, like, this is too on. Yeah. So are people mistaken? Am I tripping? Is it me? Not only that, but oh girl, she was actually killing it. Most of the time I don't see that kind of good movement with a lot of the K-pop videos or anything. I'm just saying, I didn't hear her say it. I heard the lyrics to the actual song of Too On, where that's what is said, unless that was her covering it and she covered it really well and she sounded like her. Like, I know I had issues with people who were saying I was too lenient on the last one, but y'all gotta understand, I'm not about to just come out and be like, that was racist. If I didn't see me with my own eyes, I didn't see her say nothing while she was dancing. I didn't hear it. I heard the original audio from the song. At least that's what it sounded like to me. I don't understand her native tongue, so maybe she said it then and I just didn't catch it. But if you're gonna put that she said it twice or that she said it, I'm gonna need to hear that. Like, I don't hear it. And I think that's a little bit of a problem, because it's like you can't accuse somebody of saying something that they didn't even say. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Unless I'm tripping, y'all can help me out with that. But I'm not rocking with that one, just like I'm not rocking with the, other racist things that's happened so far in this video. Jaehyun lip singing the N-word. So he lip synced it, but he didn't actually say it. I mean, I can see why people would be upset about that. That's not really gonna bother me either, because like if somebody's lip singing their favorite song in their car, like they're saying it, like white folks is in the car and they listening to whoever, and when Kendrick Lamar come on, nigga, we gonna be alright. Like, I'm sure they're saying the N-word. You know what I mean? So, like, if he actually just lip-synced it, like, I get it. He's on public air and everything, so you probably should have just chilled out. Like, you didn't have to lip-sync it, because you're gonna bother some people like that. You tripping. You doing too much. Basically, he did too much. He could have avoided a whole issue if he just was like, West Side. Like, he just was doing too much. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, like I said, that ain't gonna bother me. But I can see why it will bother some people, because to me, it's just like, you shouldn't have did that. Like, it ain't gonna bother me because I know that you're gonna have to go through a lot. You're gonna have to deal with people being mad at you for doing what you did. I don't gotta be mad at you because there's gonna be plenty enough people who are mad at you. Like, and one thing is, like, for me, am I gonna call that racist? No, I'm gonna call it ignorant. I'm gonna just say you should have known better than to say that on air, man. Because I know you're gonna say it in private. Say it in private. But don't come on air and say that, because it's gonna be a whole issue. You should know better. Just like if a white person wants to say the N-word, you better do it behind closed doors. You can wear Klan hoodies in your bedroom. I don't care. If you racist like that, then do it on your own time. But when you come out in public with it, that's when it becomes a whole issue. You know, like, I really don't care if you racist, you know, but when you try to put that out there for other people to see, that's when it becomes a problem. So on that one, that's why it's going to be an issue, because you said something you shouldn't have said, or you lip synced it, and you probably would have been better just avoiding that. But like I said, I'm not going to call that racist because of the intent behind it. You know, doesn't mean it's not racist. It's just not, my experience with racism. You know, like I said, other people are going to find that racist and offensive. Totally understandable. It's just not going to hit me the same way that it would hit some other people. So this one, let me go back to the caption, because this don't look like it's going to be good at all. He was getting into it so much too. Chen saying he looks like Kunta Kinte and Michael from a cartoon show when he got his lips drawn over.
쿤타킨테 너 마이콜 같은데 지금. 야, 적당히 해. 야, 이거 지금 뭐야? 마이콜이야 뭐야 지금 이거?
셋이 눈이랑 좀 많이 맞췄어요, 제가.
Oh yeah, that's. Oh, okay. That's Michael. I didn't know who Michael was, and yeah, I know who that. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, that ain't much to be said about that one. That's just, you look like Kunta Kinte, like you. Come on, man. I can't expect him to have known better. I can't, you know. One of the biggest things about racism is that most of the time, racism requires you to be ignorant. That's why sometimes when I say this is ignorant and not racist, some people get upset with me, because it's like, if you're racist, you kind of have to be ignorant. That's not true. There's some people who know and they're still racist. They're not ignorant, but they're still racist. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's messed up. But you done messed up, Ron? If people gonna give you backlash, you're going to get backlash for doing that. I don't even know why they did it in the first place, because to me it looks like the start of Blackface. It looks like he's trying to get that what is it called? I think it was is it jigaboo? Jigaboo's like a racist terminology, but I believe it was the term that they would use for the people who would do the blackface. I can't remember off the top of my head if that was who it was. The people who wear blackface. It looks like the start of blackface, where they would overdraw the mouth. And that's what it looks like. It looks like they were about to start it, and it looks like he's on air. He's live doing this. So, I mean, y'all was doomed from the get-go, you know. Oh, dude, he be jacking his fingers up. Stop pulling your hangnails back. I'm bad enough with it myself. I know y'all can't see it, but I do that too. But, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But, yeah, like, you messed up. You done messed up, Ron. You can't be like, I look like Kunta Kinte while you're doing a whole blackface appearance. Look. EXO making fun of Kai's skin tone.
엑소 카이입니다.
네. 엑소에서 뭘 맡고 있죠?
춤과
dance
섹시함
sections.
맡고 있다고 하더라고요.
하나 더 맡고 있지 않나요?
어떤 거요?
Their
아, 본인도 잘할 것 같은데.
어떤 거요? 피부 색깔?
skin color.
저기요.
아이고, 소름 돋아.
He's saying that he's in charge of skin color. Is that like they're damn near the same shade? I wouldn't, without this context of K-pop's most racist moments, I wouldn't have associated this with that because I don't have enough information with this. So I can't call it racist because I don't know enough. You know, I haven't seen enough. And when he's saying you're in charge of skin color, I know. Okay, hold on. I think you know it. What are you in charge of?
춤과 섹시함 맡고 있다고
Dance
하더라고요.
and
하나 더
sections.
맡고 있지 않나요?
I think there's one more. What is it? I think you know yourself. Which is it?
피부
Skin
색깔?
color.
저기요.
아이고, 소름 돋아.
I'm trying to get, unless the translation is a little off, I'm just, you're in charge of skin color. Like, is he making fun of just like his skin tone? Is this more along the lines of colorism rather than racism itself? Where it's like he's trying to poke fun at him being like a tenth of a shade darker than him. I don't know. For me, this one, it's missing a mark for me to be like, oh, that's racist. So I don't know. Shall I say, what's up with the quality though? Kai's face mask is the most dark. I thought the lights were not entering over there. Oh yeah, he is straight up making fun. Okay, I guess I should have waited a little longer. I went to rambling before I even saw it. Brown, sexy brown skin. Is that sarcasm? So is he saying like the sexy brown skin? Because I know that a lot of history with Asian culture, from what I've known or what I've learned, is that fair skin is better. The more fair skinned you are, the more highly you're looked upon, and the darker skinned you are, the lower you're looked upon. That's just like from history that I've learned. But and it seems to be similar to that way. So maybe he was being sarcastic when he said the sexy brown skin. So yeah, you're going to get backlash for that, man. You can't, but I think that's more along the lines of the colorism, rather than the specific, racism, like anti-black racism. It's more of like the colorism where you're starting to get into people being disrespectful because you're a different shade, than somebody else. And then sometimes it's like, American people of color, we're going to look at something like that and be like, me personally, I'm going to be a little confused, but I am going to see it and be like, yeah, that's going to offend some people. Like that's going to be offensive to people with bronze skin if you're being sarcastic and trying to joke that somebody has bronze skin, because I'm just like, what's the joke? Like, is having the bronze skin the joke? So yeah, that's problematic, man. It's going to be a problem. Kai, okay, so wait, is there no caption for this? No, it's still the same one.
살짝 피부톤이
So he looks sexy and cute.
섹시하긴 하지만
That's the first positive thing I've heard anybody say about
섹시하면서
darker
귀여움이
skin.
있다. 네, 그래서 원래 카이 본명이
So dark Jongin.
네, 까만 종인, 깜종.
아, 깜종.
네.
That's crazy that they think he has dark skin, because he really doesn't. Dark, the darkest guy. Some of the fans that are quite dark too. They're all Kai's family. Kai's skin color is still the same. I don't have any plans to become better.
약간 피부로
That's crazy. Like, they really do consider him dark.
중1쯤 되니까 오히려 제 피부 색깔이
까만데? 까매요?
그냥 저는 어렸을 때 운동 막 하면 더 까매지는 편이라서 그때 좀 그랬는데 이제는 오히려 저희 피부가 좋아요. 사랑해요, 제 피부.
멤버들이 다 하얗다 보니까 또 거기다 하얗죠.
네, 맞아요. 그래서 오히려 더 까매 보이는 게 있어요. 그래서 저는 멤버들을 더 하얗게 돋보여주고 저는 더 까매 보이는.
Shouldn't judge people for the way they look. Okay, I can see, yeah, there was a lot to that bit. Normally it was going cut after like 10 seconds. There was a whole lot to that bit. There was definitely a lot to that bit. yeah, I mean, it seems like he had a distaste for his own skin color. But now that I see him saying, at the very least, now I can see he's saying, I love my skin, even though it's darker than, you know, the people, my peers or people I work with. At least there's that, the only silver lining I can think of in that situation, because you're saying that you hated your skin, or more likely other people made you hate your skin for the way they treated you. Because even though your skin isn't even dark, people are still making jokes about you being dark and things like that. So I can understand how that will have an issue with your self-esteem, self-worth, and self-value, and the way you see yourself. You'll hate your skin because of the way people treat you for it. Trust and believe, I know how that is. I'm black and I live in America. So I actually feel bad for him, because it seems like he's as close as you're going to get to like a black person's experience in America. It seems like he has the closest experience to that, where you might have some self-hatred for the way people treat you. So I really do feel bad for old dude. And for me, that's less of an example of him being racist and more of the other members and the people around him being more colorist, because it wasn't necessarily like a specific race that they were attacking. They were attacking the tone of his skin, or making fun of him for the tone of his skin. And the darker his skin color was, the worse it was. And that would be the most jokes. So it wasn't seeming like this was racism as far as like a specific race that they were trying to not be like. It was more or less that, you know, even if you were close to a dark complected person, rather than just like black people, you don't want to be like black people. We just don't want you to be dark skinned. So it's a small line that I think I can draw here, where it's you're in the colorism area rather than the racism, because I can't think of a specific race other than black people, but it seems more along the lines of colorism, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, that made me feel bad for old dude. It didn't really make me be like angry, like that's racist. Like it just kind of made me feel bad for dude. So this one said, Dara appropriating Indian culture and the fire MV. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. I mean, and I've seen artists in America do that as well, where you appropriate that culture and you know, you dress in that way. I just wish that people would consult somebody from that culture before doing it. Like, talk to somebody, talk to a person who grew up Indian, somebody who knows that, get an Indian designer, you know, just kind of, I don't think it would be that hard if you're an idol, if you're a famous person, you know, like, know how they dance, learn some of their choreography, get an Indian choreographer. It shouldn't be that difficult. You know, I feel like when you have certain stuff like that, it just be like you were lazy. And that's why you're facing the backlash you're facing, because you decided to take the lazy route. And that's why it's appropriating the culture, because you clearly did not take the time to consult people from that culture, to talk to people from that culture, to learn choreography from that culture. You didn't take the time to learn. You didn't take the time. So that's why you're going to be like, that's appropriation of culture, because you clearly don't love the culture you're emulating. If you were like, I want my music video to be Indian themed. Well, that's not really the same thing. You know, I have Lord Ganesha behind me. You know, for me, that means something to me. I have a fascination with all gods of all cultures. So, but if somebody was to be like, hey, do you have an appreciation for Lord Ganesha? Of course I do. Absolutely. But if somebody said that was appropriation of culture, I would have to take that on the chin, because I'd be like, I understand if I don't actually worship that God, that might bother some people. Luckily for me, only people have given me positive things, but you know, like you gotta just put in the work. You know, if I would have gotten comments with people being offended because of my Ganesha poster behind me, I would have taken it down. You know, like it's that simple, because I didn't consult a person of Hindu culture, you know, before putting the poster up, which that was on me. I'm gonna have to take that on the chin. That was on me. Any backlash I face on that, that's on me. So you're gonna have to take that on the chin right there. It's really easy for you to do the work on that. And they decided not to. Cultural appropriation, 101, right there. You did it. Bam Bam saying the N-word with the hard R. Oh, here we go. I didn't hear him say it, but if he said it, then yeah. I think I heard him say it, yeah. At least in there.
막 이름이 뭐 워런 nigga.
Oh.
Okay.
It seems like everybody is like, oh shoot. Look, yeah. Shit. You done messed up at A-Round. Once again, that's one of them talk. And you know, I think there's a big like parallel that I can draw between her and that Wendy chick, because that Wendy chick could have did this. That Wendy chick, when she did her little impression of the black dude or whatever, that's where it's like that line a little bit. That was racist. You know what I mean? Like, you took it too far. I don't know who this is, but he said the N-word, so dang, he just threw him in here.
매끈한 진행을 할 수 있었던 거 아니었나 싶습니다. 에이, 드라고, good job, man. Alright, nigga.
Y'all gotta know better, man. Wait, I missed it. Jenny saying the N-word. Oh, you niggas can't sleep on me. Okay. And was that Jenny? Cause y'all know I love me some Jenny, but I could teach Jenny. I could teach her. Just, you know, sit over here, spend some time together. I'll take her out to eat. We'll figure it out.
Hello, my name is Julie Han and I am from America. I am 18 years old. I was born in Hawaii and lived there for 13 years and came to Korea to pursue my dream of becoming an idol. 안녕하세요. 미국에서 온 18살 한줄리입니다. 하와이에서 태어나서 13년 살다가 아이돌이라는 꿈을 이루기 위해서 한국을 왔습니다.
What did she just do? She just jump in and just straight say nigga the first word? Is that her first word she said?
Hey, well if you guessing it's me, you guessed correctly. I just stay with the stallion. You swear I wasn't equestrian. I'm a hitter with that pipe, call that Nancy Kerrigan. Stay on the greener screens, call us vegetarians. You be on that minor league, well we smoke professionally. I do my job exceptionally, on point like a decimalist. The way I ride on the beat, man, beat on the street, it's done so effortlessly. Yeah, these niggas can't sleep on me, there's no inception in this, bitch. I'm top chef, you top ramen, I'm top shelf. No last call to the bartender, what you got left? Pour it up, don't stop there. Hold your cup, take a shot, yeah. All night we celebrate, cause we everywhere and you're not there, huh?
She actually didn't do that. I mean, she did though. That was the problem. I can't think of any at the moment. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. That K-pop idols need to educate themselves more. I can't agree more. A lot of these idols in here, if they were more educated, they could have avoided a lot of these things, a lot of these issues, and a lot of these problems, and a lot of the backlash that they're probably still currently getting because of this. I know this video is damn near an hour long. I'm sorry about that. There was a lot to cover, and I wanted to make sure I didn't make the same mistake I made last time. And that damn near hour long video, where I didn't really get to fully express my opinion or express myself. I want to make sure I didn't leave anything unsaid, in this video. But, I really do believe that, there has to be a distinction made, whereas, like, are we going to cancel this person for making a mistake that we could educate them into no longer making? You know, and that's why I want us to be a little more mindful about who we call racist. We can call an action racist, but I do believe the intent behind a racist action is very important. I think that, you know, when you have somebody who does something stereotypical or offensive like that, you have to make sure that stereotypes are so commonplace and they're so open. Everybody knows stereotypes about another race. And sometimes there are people who don't know anything else about a certain group of people besides their stereotypes and what they see on TV and movies and music videos. And one thing about black people and people of color is that our music is bigger than anything else about us. Our music is huge. Everybody listens to us. But what's, you know, in our music, a lot of our music ain't the best representation of us. You know, if you have Nicki Minaj or Cardi B as a representation for all black women, then yeah, there's going to be some offensive things that come out of that. Not saying that either one of those people is bad people, but it's not going to represent all black women. You know, it's going to see them viewing black women as probably promiscuous. And, overtly sexual. So I just think that it's important for us to analyze the full context of a lot of these situations before we say this person has to go. And then we also have to analyze the history of that person. If they've never had a history of making mistakes, and they mess up and slip up one time, like old girl right there who just said the N-word in her little rap song. She's saying she's American. Girl, come on now. If you lived in Hawaii or whatever, you spent this much time in America, then you should know enough about American history and the impact of that word that you know you probably shouldn't be saying that. Especially if you're trying to go to Korea and become an idol. Like, you could have easily cut that part out. You literally only said niggas one time in that song. You only said it one time. So you easily could have cut that out. And she was doing good. She was doing good. I didn't think the little verse she did wasn't bad at all. Keep doing you. But, come on. You said you lived in America for 11 years. You gotta know better than that. You gotta know that you're emulating black culture, but you're also not necessarily a part of black culture. You're not Eminem. You're not MGK. There's certain people who are not necessarily people of color who are accepted in black culture, and they don't even say the N-word. Do you know why? Because they understand the culture that they are a part of. We've accepted them as a part of our culture because they understand their place in that culture. Just like Eminem he will never say the N-word because he realizes I understand the culture enough to know that that's not what I do. It's not something I'm supposed to say. It doesn't matter how deep in the culture I am. So it's just that simple understanding. You have to understand the culture you're trying to emulate. And it's up to us to continue to teach these people through any ways and through any means the wrongs that they've done. And we can only hope that these people learn from their mistakes. And if they learn from their mistakes, then at the end of the day, I'm not going to hate that person. I may not like what they did, but if you truly have changed as a person, then good for you. You know, you may have been misinformed about black people. You may have been misinformed about our culture. You may have been misinformed about the meaning of the N-word. It may not mean what it means to you, your country or your culture as it does to me and mine. So once you get that point across, what will you do after you understand what the N-word means to me? To me, that's a lot. That's very important. So for somebody like RM, I got a whole BTS poster behind me. But my view of RM has been a little shaky lately. You know, after him saying y'all niggas better know or whatever like that, I laughed it off because I was just like, he clearly was younger at that point and didn't know. And I was told by a lot of people that he was, you know, called out for it, immediately apologized and moved on. And I had never heard of him messing up any issues or anything like that. But I've seen a couple videos that have kind of troubled me about him talking about dark-skinned people and stuff like that. So I'm like, come on, y'all, you better get it together. Because I'm still fairly new to foreign music, K-pop, K-hip hop. I'm fairly new to all of it. But I feel like I'm too black, you know, to be dealing with some stuff like this. Good luck to a lot of these K-pop idols because y'all gonna need it. If y'all keep messing up like this, ain't no helping you, ain't no saving your careers. It is what it is. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, and how you feel about a lot of these issues here. Do you feel like I was too lenient this time coming back to revisit this topic? I know a lot of you guys felt like I was lenient and even defensive of some of the content that was in the last one, where because I wasn't just like racist, put a stamp on it. That's not really my type of being the way I am. I wanna get a whole picture of it. So let me know what you guys feel about this one. What did you think about how I felt about it? How did you feel about it? Everybody's definition of racism is a little different, and everybody's tolerance for offensive content or offensive language or anything that offends them is a little different. So I just want to know your thoughts on this. This is a long video. If you made it all the way through it, congratulations. I don't expect you to. Yeah, I turned a 10-minute video into an hour-long video. So good on you if you made it through and hear everything I had to say. And I appreciate you coming out. I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.